The next time a major wildfire or snowstorm hits Colorado, the state could be on its own to recover. The Trump administration plans to make it harder for local governments to get federal assistance after natural disasters. Our Mark Salinger looks at the concern here, headed into the heart of fire season.
Colorado is no stranger to emergencies.
We've had a lot of disasters in Boulder County.
Now how the state recovers could change.
They're moving things to the state. And how that plays out, I don't know.
Mike Chard is the director of the Office of Disaster Management in Boulder. President Biden approved a major disaster declaration for Boulder County after the Marshall Fire. It released federal funds to help with recovery efforts.
We look at the number of big disasters we've had in Boulder County. Without that federal assistance, we would have had a real hardship.
The Colorado Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management says the Trump administration is proposing making it 4 times more difficult to get federal assistance to recover from disasters. Instead of being eligible for assistance when a disaster results in more than $11 million in uninsured losses, the proposed changes require a minimum of $45 million in the state. Colorado calls the proposal a budget buster.
There's no local budget that can handle that amount of damage and be able to recover effectively right now.
Lori Hodges runs emergency management in Larimer County. A major disaster declaration was approved there after the Cameron Peak fire. Counties and states foot the bill for recovery efforts and are then reimbursed by FEMA for damages to public infrastructure. If a fire of that size were to happen again, Lori says the county and the state would have to foot the bill themselves.
A Cameron Peak fire would not have qualified under the new thresholds, correct?
The state says the Trump proposal would hurt survivors and hinder access to aid during emergencies.
I believe there's some opportunities within this that can be leveraged. I believe also there'll be some things that we don't know that will be unintended consequence.
In a state that will continue to see more disasters, there's a lot still left to learn about what might change before the next one.
My number one concern is to make sure that whatever changes occur, because change is inevitable and not everything, is that they're not eroding the capabilities that we've built here in Boulder County and that we don't see a drop in public safety or in the recovery space.
So where this will have the most impact is those middle-sized disasters. Huge fires like the Marshall Fire, for example, that caused tons of damage to public infrastructure, those will still likely get federal funds. But when you have smaller disasters that are still expensive, that's when the state is going to have to shell out a heck of a lot of money for aid and recovery, Kyle.
And this is not just a bluff by the Trump administration. They're already doing this.
Yeah, we're already seeing this start to play out across the country. You look at Arkansas. They had a bunch of major storms back in March. They applied for FEMA aid for a federal disaster declaration. They were denied by FEMA. This is a Republican state led by a Republican governor, and they were still denied. Now, all those state lawmakers are trying to court the Trump administration to say, no, we really need this money.
Yeah, lest anybody think it's a red versus blue thing, he turned down a red state very prominently. All right, Mark Salinger, thank you.